Direct observation of the psychological tendencies is the appropriate attitude to what gives rise to the present circumstances and to other moods or mindsets that present themselves. Sutras 16 onwards are very tightly integrated, and if you haven't watched the videos for Sutras 16 and 17, then I recommend that you do so, because Sutra 18 is taking 16 and 17 to a more fundamental and deep level. Sutra 16 could be understood in terms of memory, emotional memory. 17 is to do with our cognitive understanding, and Sutra 18 is to do with our mood patterns, our habitual moods. Because unless we are effectively engaged in enlightenment practice, then we are in our pattern of moods. We are at a particular point in our pattern of moods. And perhaps if you're listening to this video or studying the sutras, then perhaps this is indicative of you being in a particular part of your cycle of moods. Perhaps you only study Patanjali or listen to these videos when you're in the right mood for them. And your pattern of moods might be reflected in your daily routine. Perhaps you've been taught that regular practice is good. You should set aside an hour or two for your meditation or yoga practice and so on, and try your best to keep that up. But really, you should try and do your yoga practice, you should try and do your meditation at any time of the day, especially when you're not in the mood for it. Because when you're not in the mood for it, then you've got an opportunity to practice. Practice properly. To directly observe your psychological tendencies. The word here is samskara. This is a chance to really practice. Now, samskara was mentioned back in Sutra 18 of Book 1, where we'd begun to get a bit of distance from our conventional reality, from our cognitive understanding. We developed dispassion with relation to cognitive reality. Sutra 18 said, going deeper beyond notional thinking, and that's beyond objectification, which means creating solid objects, the underlying challenge of the psychological tendencies remains. So, this is paralleled here in Sutra 17, where we'd gone beyond notions and objects and so on. And now we're left with the psychological tendencies. These are our deepest drives. These are the itches that we really want to scratch at any point in our pattern of moods. We have the choice of reinforcing that mood and continuing with it, or coming back to awareness, coming back to samadhi. And that's the appropriate attitude. That is jnana. Seeing what's going on, seeing the itch, the burning itch that we want to scratch, and then making the choice for samadhi. And again, we can only do this from the perspective of samyama, harmonious integration of mind and emotions. And this entails a proper appreciation of samadhi on an emotional level. We have to really feel that this is our refuge. This is what gives us relief, ultimate relief from these itchy spots. And I've combined Sutra 18 here with Sutra 19. For some reason, there's an automatic assumption that Patanjali's referring to the fantastic, the magical, and to be quite frank, the completely preposterous. The understanding is that somehow the yogi can go into other minds and know them directly, can take his consciousness into other consciousnesses and so on. I don't see any need to follow that understanding. I've translated the word citta by mood. Now, citta's got many shades of meaning. It can mean consciousness, it can mean mind, mentality. But I think the understanding here is mood, because a mood is a particular mindset. It's a particular set of thoughts and feelings. This is the citta here, and samskara is the pattern of moods, the moods that we're stuck in, the pattern that we're stuck in. Moods give rise to how we are at the moment, and they determine what comes next, what our future mood's going to be. So again, this ties in with Sutra 16 about the past and the future. So really, in order to deal with the past and the future, embodied in emotional memory, which Sutra 16 spoke about, and also to get a perspective on the use of words and ideas and how they construct our conventional reality, we need to directly observe that urge to indulge a particular mood, the mood that we're in right now, in fact. Can you simply listen to this without judging it, without feeling you have to either agree with it or disagree with it? Observe that tendency you've got to either agree or disagree. Never mind what you might perceive or understand to be the conceptual content of what I'm saying. Look at how the words are affecting you. Perhaps you might want to dismiss them because you don't understand, or you find them boring, you find me boring. You want to indulge that, you want to reinforce that. Perhaps you're inspired, you want to reinforce that. Perhaps you want to dismiss what I'm saying. Perhaps you're outraged because this isn't your usual understanding of this text. Well, there isn't any conceptual content here. What this sutra is doing is pointing you to your tendency to reinforce a particular mood. It doesn't matter whether it's a good mood or a bad mood. Simply observe, and if possible, be equanimous about it. This is the appropriate attitude. Be equanimous to whatever thoughts and feelings these words are causing. Come back to your own sense of being, your own awareness. That's all this is about, your own awareness. I'm not presenting a particular worldview, a particular conceptual understanding. I just want you to come back to your own sense of being, which is going on beneath your moods, which your moods hijack